As the latest from Tel Aviv. Trey, we woke up to this morning and we thought it was exactly that, an Easter miracle. What a remarkable rescue operation. Tell us what you know about it.
Firm has been rescued after a heavy firefight. U.S. officials have told that to Al Jazeera. State regime media, which calls itself Fox, has confirmed, and this has been independently confirmed as well by numerous other sources. The individual who survived, who was downed on this F-15 is said to have suffered injuries. The extent of those injuries are not known right now. We'll get you that update when we can. So both missing crew members are now accounted for. They're rescued. They're safe. The extent of their injuries is not clear. Now, this rescued U.S. airman was hiding on an elevated ridge after hiking away from the wreckage of that F-15 when it was shot down over Iran. The individual put out an emergency beacon according to state regime media, Fox News, and others, and that allowed special forces to do the extraction. Donald Trump made a post where Trump says this proves our air superiority. Just want to fact-check that before sharing with you a statement, because I think to the contrary, the fact that the F-15 and A-10 and two search and rescue helicopters were either shot down or suffered significant damage shows that there actually isn't an air superiority. Also, I want to wait until we see the extent and severity of the injuries of the individual of this airman who was just rescued. By all accounts, let's be very clear, this is good news in an otherwise catastrophic and unlawful war. My heart breaks that there are people who are, even having to fly missions at this point in this unlawful and catastrophic war that was about regime change originally. And now it's about opening the Strait of Hormuz when it was open before, or maybe this war is now about rescuing this airman, but for the war wouldn't have been there in the first place. It's unclear what the objectives are other than Donald Trump's utter deranged decisions or lack thereof each and every day. Here's Donald Trump's post. He writes, "We got him," is what Donald Trump posts. And then he goes on to say, we got him. My fellow Americans, over the past several hours, the United States military pulled off one of the most daring search and rescue operations in U.S. history from one of our incredible crew member officers, who also happens to be a highly respected colonel and who I am thrilled to let you know is safe and sound. This brave warrior was behind enemy lines in the treacherous mountains of Iran, being hunted down by our enemies who were getting closer and closer by the hour, but was never truly alone because his commander-in-chief, Secretary of War, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and fellow war fighters were monitoring his location 24 hours a day and diligently planning for his rescue. At my direction, the U.S. military sent dozens of aircraft armed with the most lethal weapons in the world to retrieve him. He sustained injuries, but he will be just fine. Just pause there. He sustained injuries, but he'll be all good. This miraculous search and rescue operation comes in addition to the successful rescue of another brave pilot yesterday, which we did not confirm because we did not want to jeopardize our second rescue operation. This is the first time in military memory that two pilots have been rescued separately deep in enemy territory. We will never leave an American warfighter behind. The fact that we were able to pull off both of these operations without a single American killed or even wounded just proves once again that we have achieved overwhelming air dominance and superiority over the Iranian skies. Then he goes, "The moment has come for all Americans, Republican, Democrat, everyone else should be proud." Look, this shouldn't be a political thing. I think everybody should be happy that this particular colonel was rescued, that he's alive. We want to know the extent of his injuries. Let's be very clear about that. We should not forget that the F-15 and A-10 multiple helicopters were also either shot down or severely damaged. That 13 American military bases have been evacuated right now. And our soldiers aren't there because Iran's been able to target them with FPV drone, Shahed drones, and ballistic missiles. That as I'm recording this, the Babco facility in Bahrain's Babco Energy's refinery complex was hit with an Iranian strike in retaliation for Trump and Netanyahu strikes in Iran, with smoke being reported at the site. According to multiple reports, you can see the smoke right there. Kuwait's Ministry Oil building is burning right now from an Iranian attack. 2 Kuwaiti power and water desalination plants. This last 12 hours, folks, this is the last 6 hours. 2 Kuwaiti power and water desalination plants attacked by Iranian drones have caused significant damage. 2 power generation units are also out of service right now. So, all of that's taking place. I mean, I know Donald Trump wants to spike the football moment. And again, great thing that this colonel was rescued undoubtedly. But we got to get out of this war. This war continues to escalate. As Donald Trump said earlier today, he will rain hell on Iran if they don't agree to surrender in the next now what we have less than 24 hours of Donald Trump's deadline, where Trump says he will strike electric power plants, desalination plants, bridges, and other civilian infrastructure in Iran right now. I'll show you the moment this was announced on state regime media. This is what Fox said when they confirmed the second crew member of the downed F-15 fighter had been rescued. Let's play this clip. This is a Fox News alert. I'm Rich Hudson live in New York. The missing crew member from the F-15 fighter jet shot down over Iranian territory Friday has been rescued after an hours-long search. There was reportedly a heavy firefight before the crew members were taken safely out of Iranian territory. For now, and more on this, we go to our chief national security correspondent, Jennifer Griffin, on the phone, who's confirmed and reporting on the details of all of this. Jennifer, Rich, that's right. I can confirm that the second crew member of the downed F-15 fighter jet has been rescued and that he and the members of the rescue team that extracted him from behind enemy lines in Iran are all safely out of Iran. That is according to 2 senior U.S. officials and multiple well-placed sources in the region. Now, Jennifer Griffin, who is a reporter on state regime media, but she's a national security reporter. She actually does a good job. She went on Fox and she talked about, we don't know the condition of the airmen at this point. Play this clip. We don't know the condition of the airmen at this point. I can tell you that the injuries are likely to be as serious. We know that the pilot still remains in the region getting treatment. That suggests to me that the medical condition of the pilot is such that he cannot travel onto land stool yet. Must be stabilized before you can do that. So this is still a very serious situation. A number of U.S. service members were injured during the rescue mission. We knew on Friday that 2 of the military helicopters were struck by enemy fire as part of that rescue mission. And then we know more details about the A-10 Warthog that crashed on Friday. That A-10 Warthog was providing suppressive fire and flying cover for the rescue operation as they were trying to find this, and they were in a race against the clock to find this second airman who had ejected from the plane and was hiding in that ridge line. But we know that Warthog crashed in Kuwait, and the pilot of that plane also had to eject and be rescued. But he is safe as well, I'm told. And I'm good news tonight. But I think when all is said and done and we learn the details of this rescue mission, it really will be the stuff of Hollywood. And here she talks about how until just moments ago, and we began reporting this, not everyone was out safely. Here's what she says here. Play this clip. Planes and a rescue the crew member. But so this was a complex operation, I'm told, and until just moments ago when we began reporting this, not everyone was out safely. We've been following this afternoon, and we agreed to hold our reporting until everyone from the U.S. side was out of Iranian territory and safe. And here's her recounting of what went down. And again, even though she's on state regime media, she's actually a good reporter. And she's actually been highly critical of Hexith. Here's what she writes. We can confirm that the second crew member of the down F-15 fighter jet has been rescued, and he and the members of the rescue team that extracted him from behind enemy lines in Iran are all safely out of Iran. That according to 2 senior U.S. officials and multiple well-placed sources in the region, the weapon system officer ejected along with the pilot when their F-15 Strike Eagle they were flying was struck Thursday night, early Friday, local time in southwest Iran. Here, pause there for a moment. One of the things we want to know is if Iran is using some new systems in order to shoot these planes out of the sky like Iran claims, or if they were able just to get lucky in hitting the plane. They say they've got new systems that allow them to hit these F-15s easier. The WSO and the SE Survival Evasion Resistance and Escape Training to evade capture hiding on an elevated the WSO used this crew member use survival evasion resistance and escape training to evade capture hiding on an elevated ridge after hiking away from the wreckage and putting out an emergency beacon. U.S. Special Operations Rescue Forces, to include PJs, United States Air Force pararescue men, and many layers of elite rescue forces took part in the complex layered mission to both find the crew member and also keep the Iranian forces who were hunting the American weapon systems operator at bay. There are videos that have appeared from local eyewitnesses that show what appear to have been injured and dead Iranian members of the IRGC and BAS who were looking for downed American crew members. Fox has also learned there was fighting on the ground, but no Americans were killed during this operation. It was a very complex operation to retrieve the downed service member. A well-placed source briefed on the operation told me many different branches of the U.S. military were involved in the rescue. Fox can confirm that an A-10 Warthog that crashed Friday was also involved in providing cover for the rescue team searching for the pilot. That A-10 crashed in Kuwait, but the A-10 pilot managed to eject safely and was rescued. There was destruction of the aircraft, which have sensitive equipment on board, I'm told. All part of this complex combat search and rescue mission. The F-15E was pretty much destroyed on impact. 2 rescue helicopters were hit by enemy fire on Friday, and crew members on board were injured by enemy fire, but managed to make it out of Iran. There was a lot of elements to this rescue, I am told. So, that's what we have for you now. We'll keep you posted every step of the way here on the MeidasTouch network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast for new updates every single day.